Yes, good afternoon, guys. Welcome again to our class, and I'm Sir PJ Bason. So today we're going to discuss about the constructing probability distribution for our week 2 and sa ating statistics and probability na subject. Yan. So welcome guys sa ating bagong lesson. So I hope, and so before we start, I will introduce to you the learning outcomes that you should be able to understand throughout this modules. First one, we're going to illustrate a probability distribution for a discrete random variable and its properties. Okay? Then we're going to compute the probabilities corresponding to a given random variable. And the last one, we're going to construct a probability mass function of a discrete random variable and its corresponding histogram. Okay, so I hope these objectives will going to comply that after discussing this module. Okay, so before we start, so we have to recap about the lesson 1. So lesson 1 is about exploring random variables, no? So doon diniscuss kung ano ibig sabihin ng random variable. So pag sinabi nating random variables, again, it is a set of the elements that are the numbers are assigned to outcomes of an experiment. So ibig sabihin, magkakaroon tayo ng assigned, okay? Mag-a-assign tayo ng isang number kung ano magiging outcome ng isang experiment or ng isang activity. So, hindi lang sa science, may activity as well as in this subject, okay? Then, na-discuss din doon yung dalawang uri ng random variable. We have the discrete random variable and the continuous random variable. So, basically, ano ba pinagkaiba nila? So, pag sinabi nating discrete, they are finite number. And the same time, they are countable. Okay, nabibilang sila. So, ang daming example niyan. So, ano ba mga example niyan? Ilan yung lalaki sa pamilya nyo? Ilan yung babae sa pamilya nyo? So, basically, they are an example of a discrete random variable. So, nabibilang siya. And kung anong score mo sa math or sa science, so basically, yun yung mga example ng discrete random variable. How about the continuous random variable? And ito naman ay they are arise from the measurement. So basically, so sila daw yung mga infinite number. Kung kanina si discrete can be represented as a whole number or finite. So ito naman na-represent siya infinite number. Okay? At hindi sila na-represent as a whole number. Okay, yun yung sa continuous random variable. So ano mga example naman na measurable? So yung mga nasusukat lang. So for example, the temperature. So basically, nasusukat lang yun, di ba? Hindi naman siya nabibilang. They are measurable through using the thermometer. Okay, ano pa? So, pwede rin yung weight natin, ayan, yung timbang natin, basically yung height natin, 'di ba? Hindi yan finite number eh. So, infinite yan. Ibig sabihin possible na magbabago pa yan. Hindi specific yung ating number pag sinabing continuous random variable. So, I hope it's clear sa inyo sa ating lesson 1 about the random variables kasi magagamit natin siya okay, sa ating lesson 2, lesson 3, and lesson 4 itself. So, parang basic or foundation siya sa ating lesson. Okay, so proceed tayo sa ating lesson 2. So, probability distribution. So, alam naman natin, di ba, in your previous study of mathematics, so you learn about the to find the probability of an event. So, natuto kayo kung paano i-predict yung ating possible outcomes basically. So, kung paano malalaman yung probability of a certain event. Ayan. So, in this lesson, you will learn how to construct probability distribution of a discrete random variable. So, your knowledge of getting the probability of an event is very much important, okay, and understanding this lesson. So, basically, saan ba ito na-apply, itong probability distribution? So, in decision making, is an important aspect in business. So lalo na pag business tayo, no? ABM tsaka gas. So basically applicable to. The same time sa education, sa insurance and other real life situation. Okay, ang daming application nito naman, 'di ba? Lahat naman tayo dumadaan sa tinatawag nating decision making. Okay. So many decisions are made by assigning probabilities to all possible outcomes pertaining to the situation and then evaluating the result. So basically, tayo 'di ba, bago tayo nagkakaroon ng mga bago tayo nag-come up ng isang decision, so meron muna tayong mga plan, okay? Meron muna tayong nakikitang ayan. So basically, ayan. So 'di ba pag nagdedesisyon tayo, bago tayo nakapag-desisyon, basically iniisip po natin yung mga possible result, okay? Once na evaluate na natin yung mga result, o yung possible na mga outcomes, tsaka lang tayo nagde-decide na ito gagawin mo, itong gagawin ko. Okay? So basically ganyan ginagawa. Parang nagpaplano muna. So basically, yun yung tinatawag na decision making. Okay? Hindi yung basta-basta kung ano lang naisip mo, doon ka lang without evaluating kung ano yung maging outcome or possible outcomes ng nagawa mong decision. Okay. For instance, for example, meron daw tayo ditong insurance company. So they might be able to assign probabilities to the number of vehicles that a family owns. This information will help the company in making decisions regarding the future financial situations. So this situation requires the use of random variable and probability distribution. So ito nga daw, unang example natin, so we have yung mga insurance company. So nagkakaroon na yan sila, nag-a-assign na sila ng probability na itong na ganito karami yung pwedeng makuha or number of vehicle ng isang pamilya. So basically, ina-assign nila yun. So nagkakaroon na sila ng mga possible outcomes. Okay? So which is, yung pag-a-assign nila ng mga ganong possibilities or mga probabilities na ganong uri, yun yung nakakatulong sa kanila, kung paano sila come up ng decision for future financial situation. Para at least masolusyonan nila for the future kung anong mangyayari, kung dadami ba or hindi. So basically na-identify yan using these random variables and probability distribution. Okay. So a discrete probability distribution or tinatawag din siyang probability mass function. It consists the values of the random variable can assume and the corresponding probabilities of the values. Ibig sabihin si discrete probability distribution or tinatawag din siyang probability mass function. Okay, ang anong laman nito? Ito yung mga values ng ating random variables na ginamit natin nung sa lesson 1. Okay? Then, i-assign natin siya kung ano yung probability corresponding values niya. Okay? So, i-convert natin into probabilities corresponding. Okay? So, for example, sample lang natin para mas malinaw, no? Meron tayong two balls are drawn in a succession without replacement from an urn containing 5 red balls and 6 blue balls. Let Z be the random variable representing the number of blue balls. So, construct the probability distribution of a random variable Z. So, ibig sabihin daw, so, kailangan nating bumunot, okay? So, pag sinabing drone, ayan, we need to drone succession, dalawang magkasunod na bola. Okay? Kung saan, meron daw sa isang urn, sa isang container, na meron dong 5 red na bola at merong 6 na blue. So, pinagsama natin, therefore, meron dong total of 11 balls. Okay, 6 for red and 6 for blue. So, ang kailangan daw nating, okay, we're going to represent the random variable number of blue balls in Z. Okay? So, i-represent natin yung blue balls. Okay, so bubunot tayo. So, ang tanong dito, ano yung mga possible outcomes pag nag-drone tayo ng dalawang bola doon sa 5 red na bola, 6 na blue na bola? Okay. So, ano yung mga possible outcomes? Okay. So, we have steps para ma-identify to, okay, to solve this problem. Step 1, we're going to determine the sample space. Let B represent the blue ball and R represent the red ball. So, basically, alamin mo natin kung ano ba yung sample space. Sabi nga natin, yung sample space, pagdating dito sa stats, ito yung material na gagamitin natin in a certain activity or experiment. So dahil merong blue na bola at red, therefore i-represent natin si blue as B, capital B, and si red naman as capital R. So representation natin 'yan. So ano bang meron sa sample space natin? So the sample space for this experiment is ayan. So ito na yung mga possible na lalabas. So possible dahil dun sa 11 na bola doon sa urn, so possible may pag pumunot tayo doon ng dalawa, possible dalawang red mabunot natin. Okay? Posible yon. Posible namang red tsaka blue. Ayan. Posible namang blue tsaka red at possible na para silang blue. So, ayan na yung mga possible outcomes. So, wala nang iba pwedeng mabubunot dyan. So, kasi kung uulitin ulit natin yon, possible mauulit to. So therefore, hindi natin sasama once na nauulit na siya. It should be unique in terms of the order. Okay, sabi nga natin ng first lesson, so dapat yung order ng pagkabunot natin It should be unique. Kung magkatulad sila or the same na bunot mo, so hindi natin siya isasama. So, ang ililista lang natin sa ating possible outcomes, it should be unique order. Okay? Of the succession ng nabunot mong bola. So, therefore, meron tayong possible outcomes na apat. So, pwedeng red and red sa unang bunot natin. Sa pangalawa, possible red and blue. Pangatlo, blue and red. At pwede namang blue and blue. So, basically, ayun na yung maximum, okay, na possible outcomes na makukuha natin. So, ano naman yung step 2? Step 2 natin, we're going to count the number of the blue balls in each outcome in the sample space and assign this number to this outcome. So, ibig sabihin, so ito yung lesson 1 natin guys. It's a continuation lang. So, parang lesson 1 din, bibilangin natin. So, dahil yung random variable z natin ay si blue na bola, therefore, kada set ng ating succession ng draw natin ng dalawang bola, bibilangin natin kung may ilang blue. Okay? So, basically, it's a lesson 1. Okay, part ng lesson 1 pa rin kung saan that ma-master natin as we go through up to the lesson 4. Okay. So, bibilangin lang natin kung merong ilan sa doon sa nabunot natin per set. So, in terms of the table, so kung ilalagay natin siya sa table, so these are the possible outcomes. Ito yung red and red. We have red and blue, blue and red, and blue and blue. Okay, ayun yung mga possible outcomes na nakuha natin. 4 lang. Maximum na yun, no? Kasi mauulit na lang na yung ibang mabubunot natin eh. So, at sa kabilang side naman natin, so ito yung value of the random variable z, kung saan bibilangin natin kung may ilang blue na bola yung nabunot natin. Sa first set, so napapansin natin, walang blue dyan. All red. Therefore, 0. So walang blue. Therefore, 0. Then dito sa pangalawa, we have 1. May isang blue dyan na nakuha natin. Sa pangatlo, we have another 1. And sa last na draw natin, we have 2 blue balls. So therefore, we have a possible values or the possible random variables. We have 0, 1, and 2. So pwedeng wala. Wala kang makukuha. Pwedeng isa lang yung blue at pwede namang dalawa. So, ganito siya ginagamit yung application ng random variables natin. Next, so since na-identify na natin kung ilan, so proceed tayo sa step 3. Ano bang meron sa step 3? Step 3, there are 3 possible values. Ito na nga, of the random variable z, representing the number of blue balls. So these are the 0, 1, and 2. Then, anong gagawin natin? We're going to assign probability values or P sub z to each value of the random variables. Ibig sabihin, magdadagdag tayo ng panibagong table. So, kasi i-assign natin siya as a probability. So, paano ba natin siya assign as a probability? Okay, so using this table, ayan, another table to, no, aside from the lesson 1. So, may another table tayo for step 3. So, doon sa bagong table natin, ilalagay natin dito sa left side ng ating table, yung number of blue balls, which is ito yung possible values ng random variable natin, 0, 1, and 2. Okay? So, the question is, paano naman tong probability or yung P sub say natin, sir? Okay, so dito probability, bibilangin natin kanina based dun sa problem natin, sa outcomes natin, ilan lahat yung possible outcomes. Di ba kung natatandaan nyo, meron tayong 4. Okay, may 4 tayo. Ayan, kung balikan natin to, say meron tayong 4. Okay, yun yung total. Okay, 4. So the question is, may ilang zero doon sa ating table kanina. So kung titingnan natin tong table, meron tayong there's a possibility na walang makukuhang blue. Napapansin natin, may ilang zero dyan, isa lang. Okay? So therefore, magkakaroon tayo ngayon dyan sa zero na 1 over 4 sa probability. So i-represent natin siya as probability 1 over 4. Saan galing yung 1? Kung ilan merong na walang makakakuha ka ng blue. So wala. Possible wala. Okay? At meron dong isa. Okay? Sa ating possible outcome. So, it's 1 out of 4. Okay? Yung 4 galing yan sa possible outcomes natin. Then, si 1, may ilang beses tayo nakakuha ng 1 or nakakuha ng blue sa draw natin? 2 beses. Okay? There's a possibility na 2 beses natin makuha. Okay? Na meron 2 ay dito sa una, saka ito sa part na to. So itong possible outcomes, meron yan, tagwa 1 na blue. Therefore, we have 2 out of 4 or ilo-lowest term natin, we have 1 half. Okay? So we have 1 half or 1 half. Next, dito naman tayo sa pangatlo. May ilang 2 tayong nakuha doon. So meron tayong, babalikan natin, meron tayong isa. Okay, may may isang possibility na makakuha tayo ng dalawang bola. Okay. Which is, kaya nagkaroon tayo ulit ng 1/4. So, ganun lang yung gagawin natin sa step 3, guys. So, gagawa ulit ng panibagong table. Sa left side nun, ayan yung ating nakuhang possible values of a random variable, kung saan yung blue yung hinanap natin. Then sa kabila, naglalagay tayo ng probability or the P and Z. Okay? So, we have 1/4, 2/4, or 1/2, and we have the 1/4. Okay, so step 4. Anong gagawin sa step 4? So step 4 naman natin, guys, dito na tayo gagawa ng histogram. So kung naalala nyo, ano ba yung histogram? Histogram is, okay, parang kahawig siya ng ating bar graph, right? Okay. So, okay, basically, histogram is a bar graph. Ang pinagkaiba lang niya, si histogram ay dikit-dikit. Okay? Kung si bar graph kasi is may space, may awang siya. Pag si histogram is dikit-dikit yung kanyang, kanyang bars. Okay, dikit-dikit siya. So, paano ba mag-construct ng histogram? So first one, we need to plot the values of the random variable along the horizontal axis. So tandaan natin, no, yung ating coordinate plane na meron tayong x and y, or tinatawag natin the horizontal axis and the vertical axis. So ang ilalagay daw natin sa horizontal axis natin, doon natin ilalagay yung mga values ng ating random variable. Ano ba yung mga random variables natin? Yun yung 0, 1, and 2. Okay? While in our vertical axis, doon natin ipa-plot yung mga probabilities, yung mga 1/4, ayan, yung dalawang 1/4, at saka yung isang 1/2. O, doon naman siya sa vertical axis. Okay, based dun sa problem natin, ito yung maging histogram. Okay? Ito yung maging histogram ng ating example. So kung napapansin natin, ang nandito sa ating vertical axis, ito yung probability natin. So ano ba yung mga probability natin? So dito nag-start siya ng 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, and 0.6. Okay, yun yung ano niya, yung bilang niya. Kung nag-start ng 0, the same din dito sa ating horizontal, mag-start din ng 0, pero dito ilalagay naman natin yung ating mga random variables. Okay, yung value ng random variables natin, which is yung 0, 1, and 2. Next, anong gagawin? So, i-plot lang natin. Ano ba yung partner kayo ni 0? Si 0 ay meron tayong 1/4. So, ano bang value ng 1/4? So, kung ikakalculate natin yan, so what is the value of 1/4? Para ma-identify natin yung kanyang decimal point. Saan siya mas malapit? Si 1/4. Mas malapit siya kay, ayan, 0.25. So basically, kung ito sa 0.2, ayan, and then andito sa 0.3, ibig sabihin, in between of 0.2 and 0.3 is the 0.25. So doon siya magtatapat. Saan siya tatapat? Kay 0. Ito siya. Sa yung unang bar natin. Next, pangalawang bar natin. Sa pangalawang bar natin, ano naman yung partner ni 1? Based dun sa given natin, si 1. So there's a possibility na dalawa beses yun, di ba? So meron tayong na lowest term natin si 1/2. So 1 divided by 2, basically we have 0.5. So ibig sabihin sa 0.5, itatapat natin na yan. Tatapatan sa 0.5 kay 1. So ito na. So sabi nga natin, histogram yan, therefore magkakadikit yung bars. Okay? And the last one, we have 2. The same sila ng ating 0, which is 0.25. Okay, this is now the histogram. So, ganito mag-construct ng histogram. Tandaan nyo, yung probability natin nasa vertical ng atin ng mga random variables ay saan yung random variables natin? Nasa horizontal axis. Okay. So, I hope it's clear sa inyo yung ating histogram kung paano sa kinikreate. Basta yun lang yung tandaan nyo lagi para hindi kayo maguluhan. Okay? So, another, So, i-discuss din natin yung properties of a probability distribution. Ibig sabihin may property siya. So, paano natin masasabi na probability distribution to? So, kailangan natin masunod tong properties na to. So, meron tayong dalawang properties. So, first one, the probability of each value of a random variable must be between or equal to 0 and 1. Okay, dapat daw yung kada isa ng random variable natin ay equal to 0 or between lang sa 0 and 1. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya bababa sa 0. So, bawal magkaroon dapat ng negative doon. Tama? Bawal magkaroon mga negative numbers sa ating probability. Okay. At the same time, hindi siya lalagpas ng 1. So, in symbol, we can write as, ayan, 0 is less than or equal to the probability. Then, the probability also must equal or less than to 1. Okay? So dapat masunod natin yung property para masabi natin siyang probability distribution. Okay, for this example, ayan yung kanina. Gamitin natin yung kanina. So ito yung tinatawag natin probability. So sabi dito, dapat daw kada isa, each value ng ating probability ay between 0 and 1 or equal sa 1 or 0. So kung gagawin natin yung decimal point, si 1/4, anong possible maging number niyan? So magiging ano siya? O, divide natin. 1/4, we have 0.25. So ang tanong, probability distribution ba siya? Okay, probability distribution siya. Bakit? Yung value niya sa isang to ay between 0 and 1. So 0.25 is between 0 and 1. Therefore, okay to, yung una. About the second one, 1/2. Si 1/2 ay equivalent niya sa 0.5. So 0.5 still is between 0 and 1. Therefore, probability distribution din siya. Okay, how about the last one? So we have the same, 1/4. So we have 0.25. Okay, therefore, lahat ng probability natin ay nagawa niya yung first property na it should be between or equal sa 0 and 1. So kung napapansin natin, between 0 and 1 sila, 0.25, 0.5, and 0.25. So, yan yung unang property. It should be. Okay? So, kung hindi yan magaganyan, kung example, lumagpas yan ng 1 or nag-less yan sa natin, sa ating 0, nag-negative yan. Ibig sabihin, hindi na siya probability distribution. Okay. So, ano pang isang property? Another property, the sum of the probabilities of all values of a random variable must be equal to 1. So, ibig sabihin nito, pag isum daw natin, ibig sabihin, pag i-add natin lahat ng probabilities natin, it should be equal to 1. Okay. In symbol, dapat yung summation, ayan, sigma, of our probability should be equal to 1. So, try nga natin. Plus natin. 0.25 plus 0.5 plus 0.25. Equal yan sa 1. Sundan. So, para masabi natin siyang properties or para hindi masabing probability of distribution, dapat magagawa niya itong dalawang properties. Okay? Unang-una, tandaan nyo, ang dapat yung value ng kada isa, ibig sabihin each value of probability must be equal or between 0 and 1. Kung napapansin niyo yan, equal or between 0 and 1. Tama? Yan yung unang property na kailangan natin tandaan. Pangalawang property, dapat daw pag pinag-add natin lahat ng nasa probability natin, pag summation natin yan, it should be equal to 1 para masabi natin probability distribution. So basically, pag gagawa tayo ng ganyan, lagi na yan iti-check na kung nagagawa niya ba yung properties natin. So para masabi natin probability distribution, yung isang table o yung example natin. So I hope it's clear, no, na masunod natin dapat tong properties ng probability distribution natin. So, I hope you have learned something from this topic or lesson 2 natin. So, I hope masagutan natin ng maayos ang ating activity and ang ating evaluation. So, that's all. See you next meeting and keep safe. And if you have any clarification, you can comment down below in our video and sa ating GC. O approach me there. Okay, thank you and goodbye. See you next meeting.